So the power of community. Well, community got together and created a whole new country. And our country is only 247 years old. We're young. That seems younger all the time for me. But anyway, young. We're young, we're diverse, we're prosperous. We're founded on amazing ideals that all people are created equal with certain fundamental rights. But practicing those ideals is kind of tough. We've got some work to do. We've got some work to do to keep the beauty, the love, the commitment on which this country was founded. We came together to make a new world that would work. But it seems like right now things are falling apart, getting further and further diverse and opposed and different. And I read this quote by a woman I didn't know, but I looked a little into her. She's a very interesting woman. Her name is Rosemary Radford Ruther, and she's a 21st eco-feminist Catholic theologian. She passed away last year at age 85, but she really challenged the Catholic Church on what it meant to be a good Catholic. She felt in Catholicism they weren't taking very good care of their women or the world, and she challenged them. And they had her speak at many churches, and they were opening their mind to new and amazing things. Wow, to new things. You don't need to let go. It's like we talk about people where we have a lot of different religious backgrounds here, and you don't let go of any of your past teachings, the goodness. You take that with you, but we're always expanding our mind and growing into something new. And that's what we want to talk about today. It's time for a new idea. It's time. What she said is all the crises of history. I want you to listen to this. All the crises of history are converging now. Racism, sexism, colonialism, the technological and ecological depletion of the earth. And we need a new idea. We need a new way of living and being together because we share this world together. It belongs to all of us, and we all have a part to play, and we're all equally important in creating something new. Matthew Fox, another rebellious Catholic, who actually got defrocked from priesthood because he said, we're not born in original sin, we're born as an original blessing. We are a blessing to the world. We have spirit in us. We have creativity. We have possibility in us. We have intelligent minds to do new things. We are the blessing to this world. And so now he's an Episcopal priest. But he wrote a book called Spirituality Called Compassion. Spirituality Called Compassion. A new way of looking at life, a new way of looking at things. And he looks at the same thing that Rosemary Ruther was talking about, the state of our world right now. And he equated it to a well-known nursery rhyme. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Well, of course they couldn't. If they'd asked the women to be part of it, we would have had scrambled eggs, we would have made an omelet or a frittata. You know, Humpty Dumpty would have had a whole new experiences, new energy. Wow. Well, but that simple 4-line poem brings up a lot of questions. Like, who is Humpty Dumpty? And why is he on a great wall? And how the heck did he get up there? Well, we know Humpty Dumpty as an egg, right? We know him as an egg. But that came from Lewis Carroll and the Alice in Wonderland. Actually, Humpty Dumpty started as a cannon, but I'm not going to talk about that. We're going to look at him as an egg person, because an egg person is filled with possibilities and potential. I mean, think of the egg as wants to grow and become. Humans grow and become. So this egg person is filled with possibilities like we are, but it's also a very delicate individual. as we all are, very delicate. And I would say the wall. Now, I don't think Humpty was really that happy on that wall. I think he was actually really afraid and frightened. And Kirk, you picked a really cute picture, but I don't know if that's the actual picture of Humpty Dumpty on the wall, but we'll see. He's just about to have a great fall, buddy, so I'm not quite sure. Wishful thinking. But I look at that wall as a wall of dualism, either or thinking. We want both and thinking. We want to be an inclusive. We're not here to shut anybody's ideas down or shut things down. We want to come together in a new understanding. And Humpty could help us. He could, if we just remembered, how did you get up there? I don't know. But in this wall of dualism, in this wall of separateness, it's so easy in the world today to fall into a consciousness of separation, loneliness, disconnection. But we don't want that. We want to come into something new. And that's why we're here today. The power of this community to create something new. And the healing of the world is not, the ills of the world is not an easy task. In fact, Joseph Campbell, a cultural anthropologist, said, participate joyfully in the sorrows of the world. The world's always been a mess. We're not going to change that. All we can do is change ourselves and contribute to this collective consciousness in a better way. Buckminster Fuller, just an amazing American architect, a futurist, a designer, an inventor, a philosopher, a futurist. He said that science today, today's science, which he passed away some time ago, but he said today's science shows us there has to be an intelligent designer of this wonder-filled universe, an intelligent designer who has laws that do not contradict each other, that all of the things are working in a divine plan. And he goes on to say that at first he was questioning this intelligent designer, and he thought it has to be bigger than the human mind. This creative mind that created this world has to be bigger, but we have to have access to it. Doesn't that sound a bit like Ernest Holmes when he said, there's a power in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. It's part of us, it's in us, and that's what we're tapping into. And as a community, we can support each other on this journey. What wisdom there is in this world, what wisdom and truth. So today, I'm sorry, frog, we want to tap into a new idea. And I remember Jean Houston, she would, every single workshop we went to, every single workshop or lecture she gave, she'd always quote her friend Margaret Mead, another cultural anthropologist, who said, never doubt that a small committed group of people can change the world, because indeed it is the only thing that ever has. We can do it. We can get new ideas sparkling in our diverse and diverser becoming a community to create something new. So I want to share what I gleaned from Matthew Fox's book, Spirituality, called Compassion. He said there's two contrasting symbols for the way we approach this spiritual experience. Two contrasting views. And the first one, both come from the Bible. And he said the first one, Jacob's ladder, is Jacob's ladder. This isn't Jacob's ladder, but this is a ladder. Jacob was in a terrible state. He had done some pretty nasty things. And he went to bed fearful that night, and he had a dream. And in that dream, there was a staircase leading up to heaven. And there were angels going up and down the staircase. And God was at the top of the staircase. And the only way you could reach God was the difficult climb of climbing the ladder. And that's pretty much what Christianity adopted as it's a difficult climb. We've got to do our part. And we got to get up to that place where God is, outside of us. And it's an arduous journey. And if you think about it, on that ladder, look, everybody's struggling to get up to the, oh, that girl has a broken rung on her ladder. Oh, no. But it's an arduous journey. And you're keeping your eye who's ahead of you, who's behind you, what's going on as you make this journey. And it becomes competitive. It's difficult. And look at your hands. When you're climbing your ladder, you're holding on for dear life. You don't reach out and help somebody else because you're hanging on. And forget about giving somebody else a hug. It's a hard journey, and it can be lonely. Matthew Fox is suggesting another story in the Bible, actually a story of Jacob's grandmother. She was not a perfect person either, but she was a good person. She had lots of courage and faith and understanding and believed in miracles. Anyway, God had promised Sarah and her husband Abraham that they would have a child. But Sarah was now in her 90s. She was 90 years old, and she said, well, I guess it's not going to happen this lifetime. So at 90 years old, she got pregnant. And you know what she did? She laughed. She laughed at the miraculous nature of God. Wow, human minds don't think any further than this, but there's a miracle here waiting to be born. And this is called Sarah's circle because she opened her mind and accepted the fullness of life, the fullness of God. And Matthew Fox truly asks us to think of a circle. I want you to think of being a little kid. Now think of the difference of being asked to be on a sports team when you're not athletic, when they're making the choice of who's going to be on whose team, or when you get into a circle. A circle always has room for someone else. You can make it as big as you want it, as small as you want it. It's a circle that holds however many people want to be in it. In a circle, we're holding each other's hands, and it could be times of tears, times of joy. It doesn't matter. We're there together with each other. And where is God in this circle? Right there in the center. And so often we get in a circle, and in whatever faith we have, whatever teaching, whatever name we call God, we're celebrating or grieving, celebrating, but we're there together participating in spirituality and togetherness. The thing is, when you join a circle, the idea is not to become like everybody else. Boring. The idea is to bring your full self, your own unique identity to this circle, so you have something to share. Because being part of a community or a circle, the whole idea, I want to read this from Ernest Holmes, is that we have a space where we can learn from each other, where diverse perspectives and ideas come together for new possibilities. That's what happens in a circle, new possibilities. And he goes on to say that Ernest Holmes beautifully stated, we are not merely isolated beings, but interconnected souls on a shared journey. And what else happens, and this was a thought I had about the consciousness of a circle of people coming together. And we talk a lot about the collective consciousness. That's the thoughts and feelings of all the ages that continue to be here, that was part of all of us around the world. Collective consciousness holds everything. It's an energy. But when we come together in a powerful energy, we're uplifting that collective consciousness to a new place. That's the small group of committed people I was talking about, where we can really uplift and create new ideas. I want you to think right now, what is the word? Matthew Fox chose compassion. The Dalai Lama said, my religion is kindness. What is the word, if we were coming together in a circle, that you would like to contribute to the collective consciousness of this new idea, this new world, a changing, thriving in a changing world? What would you add? Tell me. Love. I mean, what else? Go on. Kindness, acceptance, wisdom, peace, awareness, laughter. Joy, I was going to say that's one we're missing. We all do that. So let's just take a moment, put your feet on the ground, unravel yourself, be the open vessel and vehicle for that infinite power of God's goodness that's ever present in, through, and around us, always, ever present, right here, right now, in its fullness. Join me in this moment as we open ourselves, as our opening song said, open our minds and open our hearts to receive what's already there. The love, the kindness, the joy, the peace, the laughter, the song, the beauty of God, of infinite presence, of goodness, the power we have in this and every moment to open ourselves to new ideas. As Wayne Dyer said, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Let's take this world we live in, this beautiful country that is ours, and this world we live in, and see it thriving, alive, with all its joys and sorrows, all its intricacies, that we know there is something beautiful wanting to be born anew. That when things fall apart, they fall apart to be put together in a new and joyous way. And that is our responsibility right here in this moment, because with great power comes great responsibility. I know in this moment that we are up for that call. We are up for the job. We have been called upon to do this work, and we are here answering that call. How good it is to be here in this community and say yes to this beautiful thing we call life, we call love, we call compassion, we call God. We breathe that in, we fill ourselves, and we let it go by saying together, and so it is. We're in the process. It is done. Thank you for being fellow travelers on this journey with me and all of us together. I love you all.